At this hour from New York, I'm Haley Bianco, Salem News Channel. After days of preparation, Hurricane Ian reached Florida's Gulf Coast with powerful winds and drenching rain, prompting authorities to warn residents to hunker down. Kate Fisher joins us now with an update on the storm.
More than 2 million people are under evacuation orders, and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has warned that anyone still in their home needs to stay inside.
There will be debris in the air and flooding powerful enough to move cars around, so please do not be outside during this storm. If you're in those southwest Florida counties, you need to be sheltering in place.
Everyone's safety is our top concern.
The National Hurricane Center has warned of, quote, catastrophic wind damage from what is one of the most powerful storms to hit the U.S. in decades.
I mean, you're going to have massive amount of power hitting that coastline with really, really strong winds. That is going to do a lot of wind damage.
Hurricane Ian is and will continue to be a very dangerous and life-threatening storm. And this is going to be for the days ahead.
With maximum sustained winds of 155 miles per hour, Hurricane Ian is almost at Category 5 status. Only 2 Category 5 storms have made landfall in the US in the last 30 years, both of them in Florida. In Washington, Kate Fisher, Salem News Channel.
An estimated 349,000 homes and businesses are still without power in Puerto Rico on Wednesday. Hurricane Fiona hit Puerto Rico on September 18th, causing an island-wide power outage for its 3.3 million people. After hitting Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic, Hurricane Fiona turned north and slammed into eastern Canada on September 24th, leaving over a third of Nova Scotia without power. As of Wednesday, about 104,000 customers in Nova Scotia remain without power. The European Union has vowed to mount a robust and united response to what it calls deliberate disruptions to energy infrastructure. Gas continues to leak from the Nord Stream 1 and 2 pipelines built to funnel fuel from Russia into Germany. The Nord Stream pipelines have been at the center of geopolitical tensions in recent months due to previous disruptions in supplies that Europe branded as Russian energy blackmail. Rosie Burchard brings us this update from Brussels.
There is one word on everyone's lips here, and that word is sabotage. European leaders say these leaks are not an accident, but they stop short of pointing the finger at Moscow. Now, Ukraine says this is Russian terror. The Kremlin has dismissed those accusations as absurd. Now, investigations are still ongoing, but Brussels could respond with sanctions. What is certain is that this marks a dramatic escalation in this energy crisis that Europe is embroiled in, as households and businesses struggle to pay bills and governments scramble to replace supplies once imported from Russia. In Brussels, Rosie Burchard, Salem News Channel.
The Ministry of Health in Uganda is expressing concerns over spreading cases and rising deaths from Ebola. Michael Balik has more details for us in the capital of Uganda.
This is the first Ebola outbreak in Uganda in 10 years. The latest situation report by the country's Ministry of Health shows the confirmed cases are being managed at an isolation center set up in Mubende district, the epicenter of the outbreak. The UN World Health Organization says the disease is attributed to the Sudan strain, which is less transmissible but has no approved vaccines. It has also shown a lower fatality rate compared to the Ebola Zaire strain that killed nearly 2,300 people in the Democratic Republic of Congo between 2018 and 2020. The government has created a task force to educate communities in the affected region about the measures against the spread of Ebola infections. In Kampala, Michael Baleke, Salem News Channel.
In a rare intervention, the Bank of England took emergency action Wednesday to stabilize UK financial markets. This move comes after the British currency, the pound, hit a record low against the US dollar earlier this week. Giles Gibson reports from London.
Well, the Bank of England says that if the dysfunction that it's currently seeing in the markets continues, then there would be a material risk to UK financial stability. And that's why it's decided to step in and buy long-term UK government bonds to try to stabilise the volatility that we've seen in the markets over the last couple of days or so. In London, Giles Gibson, Salem News Channel.
President Biden says he's confident that hunger in America can be stopped by the end of the decade. Greg Clugston reports.
At the first White House conference on hunger since 1969, President Biden acknowledged his goal of ending hunger in the U.S. by 2030 is ambitious, but he said it's doable if the nation works together.
That's why we're here today, to harness our greatest resource, our fellow Americans. Everyone has an important role to play.
The White House also announced more than $8 billion in commitments from private companies, charities, and industry groups to address food insecurity. In Washington, Greg Clugston, Salem News Channel.
And that's news at this hour. In New York, I'm Haley Bianco, Salem News Channel.